most important spiritual decision that you could make, no matter what stage you are in your journey. Even if you have fully realized yourself, and you have realized yourself to be divinity in form, the most important spiritual decision still remains. And the difference between alignment with divinity and alignment with ego hinges upon the most important spiritual decision. So we're going to talk about that. And just before we get to that, as kind of a foundational piece, I want to talk to you about something that you may be familiar with in your life, but from a more spiritual context. I want to talk to you about what is stress. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Stress. There's a big misperception of what stress is. Most people, and again, when you're in an ego, prior to your deepest awakening and integration, stress is perceived as what I feel due to what others do, which is the definition of victimhood. Victimhood is the belief that I feel the way I do because of how other people behave. I'd feel better if it wasn't for that person's behavior. I'd feel better if it wasn't for them doing that. Victimhood is what points the finger of blame. And it is the belief that stress is because of how other people are. And when you believe that stress is because of how other people are, you are not aligned with your innate spiritual freedom. Because you can't be free if your experience is caused by other people. So when we're in an ego, we think stress is because of how other people act, circumstances out of my control, or if I was in a better place, around better people, I'd be less stressed. Familiar? Maybe someone you know. Maybe you've seen it on TV. Stress isn't what you feel based on how other people act. What stress is a clear reminder of whether in that moment you are aligned with divine will or the will of ego. So let's start by making this very clear. Any moment of stress is not because of the environment you're in or the people you're around. It is solely a reminder that how much or how little stress you feel is showing you how rooted in ego or aligned with the universe you happen to be. Does that make sense? That right there is one of the first governing moments of self-responsibility on a spiritual path. Because there's so many people, and I say this respectfully because my life passion is serving the evolution of every soul. And I empathize with all the different journeys that we've had and we continue to have. And it's so easy to say, if I worked in a different environment, if I was around different people, if I lived in a different country. It's so if my bank account had more zeros on the different side of the decimal point. That's important to say, by the way. It's so easy to say, if my circumstances were different, I'd have more peace, more fulfillment, and less stress. And yet, what we don't regularly understand, or perhaps it's just time to make this point very clear, that any time you're in a moment of stress, it is the universe helping to remind you that you are in this moment aligned with the energy of ego. And when you're aligned with the energy of ego, no matter how hard you work, most of the outcomes will be dissatisfying, will be unfulfilling, will be exhausting, And even if the outcome is the one you anticipated, it will rarely fulfill you, because the outcome of life is not necessarily about how hard you're working, but reflecting the energy you're anchoring. So when you're in moments of stress, that's life saying you're not quite aligned with the right energy on the inside. So if we learn how specifically to anchor and align with divine will, then once we do that internal alignment, then all of the decisions we make from that moment forward are going to produce a life of inspiration, a life of greater abundance and prosperity, a life of greater health and wholeness. And that doesn't mean necessarily that if you're experiencing stress and chaos, or I'll even say this, if you're experiencing a lack of abundance, a lack of health, that's not like a reward and punishment kind of thing. Because there are people that are dealing with illnesses that aren't stressed out about it. So the key to ego or divine will is really the question of stress. There are people that don't have a lot of abundance, and they're not stressed out about it. Because sometimes in your storyline, you're meant to experience a certain amount of illness, lack of abundance, and then at a certain part of your storyline, it all explodes into a happily ever after situation. But the higher you aligned with the universe, the more those things seem to turn around anyway. So if we wish to heal ourselves, change our circumstances, and just learn to bring into our lives the highest alignment of universal life force energy, then we learn today that the most important spiritual decision is aligning with the light and the will of the universe at the beginning of our day, throughout each of our interactions. And if we can do this, what you'll start to first notice is you may be able to be in stressful environments that do not put you in stress. Because your stress is an indication that you're not connected to your highest will. It's very important. It's fundamental. Because it's so easy to think those people, this person, that situation, that boss. And if you can't find the evidence in this lifetime, the good old spiritual journey will start looking into the past lives. My life's good right now, Matt, but past life, I racked up a bar tab. And I'm stressed because, so-and-so did something to me back in the Middle Ages. It's terrible. Terrible. The most important spiritual decision is the choice to align with the will of the universe. And I will walk you through this step by step and show you the power of it. But the first step of this teaching is really, on a deep core level, clarifying the responsibility of stress. Meaning, when you're unconsciously stressful, the reaction is always towards someone else. Pointing the finger, the blame, retaliating against them. We either lash out or shut down, because the person who, by the appointment of the universe, has been brought to remind you that you're not as aligned as you could be, is the one who gets blamed for your stress. And we don't have to do that anymore, because it's not helpful. When you're aligned with the universe, there is no stress. You are naturally at peace. You are fully trusting in the highest will of divine perfection. You are open to what is coming your way. You are willing to participate with life without trying to control it. You are fulfilled by less and not desperately craving more. When you are aligned with the will of ego, you are dissatisfied, you are disinterested, you are without passion in some cases. You are holding on to grudges, you take life personally. Life tends to be stressful, chaotic, and painful, and no matter how hard you work, life ever can't feel the way you want it to feel. And all that is just life's way of saying, if you can realize how stressed you feel, stop what you're doing and make the most important spiritual decision of your day and align with the will of the universe. Aligning with the will of the universe is literally silently or out loud asking the universe to work through you and to carry out on your behalf what you can't do by yourself. Before we do it, like a repeat after me, I'm going to share with you why this is so important. And this will probably make sense in a different way. Even in spiritual awakening, there's the male version of awakening and the female counterpart to awakening, and a lot of people don't really know that. Most of what has been the old paradigm of spiritual awakening has been the male version of awakening. The male version of awakening is there is one, which is true. There is one. We are one. We are one. It's very masculine. I take a stance. There is one. I will correct. I will defend. Very masculine. I am that one. Very masculine. And if you do not have integrated into you the divine counterpart, that statement of oneness doesn't mean anything. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like, okay, your car will be ready in about 45 minutes, but there is only one here. I am that one. Well, the one's going to have to go sit in the lobby for 45 minutes because your car needs more time. So it's funny how when you don't have the female counterpart of spiritual realization, you just walk around as this like masculine knower of oneness, where you just kind of respond to things with everything is one and it doesn't do anything. There is just one, There's just one. Not two, just one. So what's the divine feminine counterpart of awakening? Yes, there is one. We are all one at our core. We are also different as individuals. We're not the same character, we're the same essence. We're the same light, and we're all different souls expressing the various unique aspects of the one. But here's the thing, within the one are infinite aspects and expressions of oneness. And those infinite aspects all work together as an ensemble performance. So there is just one, but in the one are infinite expressions of the one, and they all work together. So here's where the imbalance has become. People get all hopped up on the male version of awakening. There's only one. Only one. I will never eat and sleep again, for there is just one. Right? It's easy to go off the deep end with that one. But within that one, all the aspects of your one eternal being all works together in a symphony or a ensemble performance. The one, in its highest vibration as divinity, divinity calls on divinity to carry out the divine plan. So even the light of one calls on the light of one to carry out the will of the one. And what most people are doing is they're saying they're one and they're trying to do their life journey by themselves. You are the universe, but not until you call on the universe that you are to work through you. And it's so weird how you can have a realization of oneness and get stuck on the male side and not integrate both sides. Like, if I'm already the one, why would I call on the one to work through me? I'm already that one. See, that's too smarty pants. And it reeks of arrogance. I'm already the one, I shouldn't have to call on myself. Well, you do. You do, and you will. Because you know what it does? It humbles the spiritual ego. Because what is the ego, whether spiritual ego or everyday ego? What's the ego trying to do? I'm going to do it all myself. Really? Really going to do it all yourself? We'll see about that. I'm going to do it all myself. One of the greatest seductive things that the ego attaches identity to, because usually the identity is how attached we are to something called my. It's probably why the word illusion, Maya, starts with my. Maya starts with my. Right? The attachment to my life. Ooh, right? That's where the clinging is. My life. My destiny. My spiritual path. And we have all these divine counterparts, angels, masters, all within our field, all projected throughout. Oh, can we help you? Doing it myself. It's mine. And the reason some of us are on a spiritual path, hell-bent on realization or going as far as possible, but we're stressed out about it, because stress is indicative of where we're aligned. So you can be on the most progressive spiritual path and still be aligned with ego. That's a confusing one. You can be on the highest spiritual path, aligned with the wrong energy, and your spiritual path, which started as a journey of relaxation, is the one thing stressing you out the most. So the difference between a true spiritual master, even an evolving spiritual master, and a spiritual ego is determined by, is that one calling on the universe to work through it? And the realization that you are the universe doesn't disqualify the fact that you must call on the universe to work through you. And when you can get that and you go, oh, that's when masculine and feminine aspects of awakening can both integrate inside of you. And it's not just an awakened mind, but an awakened heart. And then the mind and the heart can merge together, integrate into your being, and then you can be a fully integrated, awakened master in physical form. Two different types of imbalances on the spiritual journey. There are people that call on the universe to work through them, but they're not active enough in their choice making to actually help the universe work through them. Like, universe, please bring me a solution. And they sit on the couch and do nothing. So sometimes we can call on the universe and we tend to just think the universe is going to do it all for us and that we don't play a part in the participation of it. Sometimes we're so gung-ho in participating, we forget to call on the universe to work through us. So we're just going at it, blazing a trail, and exhausting ourselves in the process. So the middle ground is, yes, you are making the choices. You are leading the way. It seems like you're the one doing it all. You call on the universe to work through you, and from that moment forward, everything that you think you're doing is guaranteeing the highest alignment of energy, guaranteeing the highest outcome, guaranteeing that you will enter into each moment in its highest form, guarantee that you are calling forth the highest qualities of each character, and you will guarantee that you are aligning with the timeline of your highest destiny, even if it doesn't match the desires of your ego. So how many times people confuse it and they go, oh, I'm going to be aligned with the right energy when I get what I want. Not necessarily. You're going to be aligned with the right energy when you invite the universe to work through you. And you may or may not get what your ego wants, but it won't matter because stress is the sign that you're not aligned with the universe. Satisfaction is only a sign that you're aligned with the universe. So the idea that stress is caused by other people is an illusion. The idea that satisfaction is caused by other people is an illusion. When you're satisfied, you're aligned with divinity. When you're stressed, you're aligned with ego. That's the simplicity of it. So how do we do that? We do that by accepting or admitting what we don't know how to do. So take anything in your life, and I'll walk you through a few of them, that you don't know how to do or you can't seem to get done on your spiritual journey. And instead of you trying to figure out what you obviously don't know how to do, what if the one choice you can make is saying to yourself, I accept I don't know how to do this, so I call upon the will of the universe to work through me and to resolve it on my behalf. That I am now. So try this out loud. And again, whether or not this is true in your experience, if you say it out loud, it will help for the collective unconscious as well. I accept that I don't know how to let go of fear. I don't know how to stop being afraid. So I call upon the universe to work through me and to do it on my behalf for the well-being of all that I am now. And do you feel instantly how different you feel in your body? Because all of a sudden you realized, instead of focusing on what you don't know how to do, like people get to that place of, well, but I don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, admit to yourself, I don't know what to do, and then call on the universe, outsource to the universe. And people say, but I am the universe. Well, then now you know who to call on. But see, here's the thing. You are the one, but the one calls out to itself, and then the one arrives within itself. Sometimes people think about oneness and they go, oh, it's all one, so all interactions are a fabrication or an illusion. And that's not reality. Reality is everything is so one that the one interacts with itself as different characters. And you have to respect form and the play in order for oneness to fully be integrated within you. To get to that place of, oh, it's all one, so I don't listen to what people say because it's all illusions and lies. That's just smarty pants spiritual teachings. Oh, I know it's all one, so that disqualifies me from being a nice human being and being loving and respectful. Not anymore. I don't know how that got in there. Not on my watch. We're going to eliminate that one real quick. If you, whether you've experienced yourself as the universe, whether you have heard you're the universe, whether you have ideas about that, or anything in between, it doesn't matter what your level of experience is. All you have to know is the most important spiritual decision is you have the opportunity to recognize stress as an indicator that you must call on the universe to work through you every single day. You can make it fun and call on the universe before each activity if you want. I call on the universe to work through me as I wash these dishes for the well-being of all. That I am now. Why not? If the word of God spoke to you directly, 9 times out of 10, do you know what that light of divinity would say to you? It would say, there's nothing to figure out, just call on me. Call on me. Ask me to help you with everything. What are you hearing? The voice of your higher self. It is you. But do you know why most people don't experience themselves as the light of their higher self? Because they don't call on it. They're trying to figure things out themselves. Why? Why are you trying to figure things out yourself? If you're the one that can't figure it out, why are you relying on you? You're the one that doesn't know how to do it. Why are you doing that? You haven't been able to figure out for how many years, but today's going to be a different day? Why? Why is it going to be different? It will not be different at all. No, but today might be different, and it won't. And so many sit back and go, why can't I figure this out? Because life is trying to convince you that you don't know how to do it. So you can just throw your hands up and go, I don't know how to do this. I call on the universe, do it for me. Thank you. And that's when legions of angels in heaven applaud you. Finally. Finally, and you become an open space through which the light of divinity enters this world, and you're still going to be the one making the choices, but from that confession, from that request, you're going to be bringing forth the right internal alignment of energy, and everything will be different, even if you're making the same choices. Someone who invokes the universe and someone who forgets to invoke the universe can make the same series of choices, but create a much different reality based on internal alignment. That's why I call it the most important spiritual decision. Only arrogance says, I'm already the one, I don't have to call on myself. That's nonsense. That's a cop-out. That's ridiculous. And even the teaching of I've got to get me out of the way so the universe can fulfill its will, that's even not true anymore. Because we're not trying to get you out of the way. We're just trying to unite you with your absolute potential. You're not the one who needs to get out of the way. You're a part of this. You're the one that moves the body around and makes choices. But you've got to invoke the will of your divinity and then go from there. And if you start your day invoking the will of divinity and go, well, I just made the most important spiritual decision, then you can let go on a very deep level and go, let's just see what's going to be. It can only be the highest potential of my soul's evolution, whether I get what I want or not. See, that's where the freedom is. People try to get to that letting go, but it's not you letting go. If anything, you're letting go of the belief that you're here to do this yourself. You're here to invoke the will of the universe, and then from that moment forward, enjoy the show. Try these words out loud. I accept. I don't know how to be in charge of everything. I don't know how to keep my heart open 24 hours a day. I don't know how to check everything off my spiritual to-do list. I don't know how to be who I wish to be. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what any of this is. So I call on the universe to work through me, to speak every word, to make every choice, to orchestrate every action, to manifest every outcome, aligned with my soul's highest wisdom and reality. For the well-being of all. That I am now. And so it is. Do you feel the difference in that? It's quite shocking. When you go, oh, I didn't know I had that option. See, that's the thing. It's not that you're not free. You're already free. You just don't know your options. And you know what most people are doing innocently enough? And I say this because it's beautiful. Most people are not calling on the universe because they're too busy trying to impress the universe, and they don't think they have the right to call on it first. They don't think they've earned the right to call on the universe. You know how you know you have the right to call on God? You're in form. You've incarnated. Don't deny your resources. When you invoke the light of divinity once a day, twice a day, 5 times a day, whatever, your path gets easy. Because you're aligning with the right energy, and then from that moment forward, choices are easy to make, reality is much clearer to see. That's all you have to do. And literally, when I interact with beings, whether I'm in session or at retreat, and I'm interacting and I'm tuning into things, and I can energetically tell, you know, because I have to feel into where people are at their journey, because everyone's at a different stage. So when I meet someone, I'm telling them what's appropriate for the stage they're at. When I tune into people, here's the funny thing. I'm not feeling like, ooh, how much of their family stuff have they resolved? How much clearing have they done? That's not what I'm feeling into. Do you know what I'm feeling into? I'm feeling into how often do they call on the universe to work through them. That's the only benchmark of spiritual maturity. I mean, there's many other benchmarks, but that's the prime one. Are you making the most important spiritual decision every single day? And if not, you're either someone who's been being judged by other people, or you're judging other people for whatever reason. It's amazing. Satisfaction is the response of calling on the universe to work through you, not based on anything outside of you whatsoever, no matter how beautifully packaged your life seems. Stress is based on your inability or your forgetfulness to call on the universe to work through you, not based on the behavior or temperament of others. People act shamefully because they haven't learned to call on the light of their divinity to work through them. They have not surrendered. And when someone who hasn't surrendered interacts with a you who hasn't surrendered, that's when chaos ensues. If you call on the light of divinity to work through you, you can be in the presence of someone who has not even gotten close to realizing, invoking the universe, and nothing they do will touch you. And in your presence, they will get closer to the realization that they are the light just by being in the presence of someone who has made that decision. It fundamentally comes down to such a simple decision every single day. And if I tell you something that's kind of funny, it will change the way you look at life, hopefully permanently, so you will never forget this teaching. The divine dwells in all forms. The divine is the consciousness that causes your heart to beat, your body to function. It's what causes all of nature to be animated into form. And wouldn't it be funny to realize that when you look at all of what you see in the world, it's all your divine nature trying to impress you with its power just to sell you on calling on it more often? Like you're standing by the water and going, oh, wow, look, and God's in the water saying, hey, you think it's cool when it goes from stillness to a ferocious wave? Isn't that impressive? Why don't you call on me more often? You like that power? You could have more of it in your life. Call on me. Hey, you see the birds flying in the air? How do they know to fly in the same formation? Pretty organized, isn't it? Hey, why don't you call on me? I can help you. You impressed yet? Call on me. Everything in your life is God trying to impress you so that you will call on the divine within you more often. You look at the world, all these characters and people and relationships and are arguing with each other. It's all divinity. How come they're not getting along? Because you haven't invoked the light of divinity and put them to work. The divine wants to do everything through you and give you the experience that you're doing it yourself. And when you insist on doing it yourself, you wander around this planet exhausting yourself looking for the divine that's just saying, call on me, invoke me with your word, invoke me, speak about me, call on me. You don't know how to be nice? Ask the universe to do it for you. You don't know how to love yourself? Ask the universe to do it for you. You don't know how to be sober? Ask the universe to do it for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a big-ass ego trip. You don't know how to open up your chakras? Ask the universe to do it for you. You know what a chakra is? God does. Why don't you ask him? Or her, you know? Why are you trying to figure out the manual? Why don't you just go to the manufacturer? Seems to be the manufacturer would have all the answers to your questions, right? Why don't you call on that? Why are you trying to figure it out yourself? You're still going to make decisions in your life. Your one most important vital decision every day is starting your day by invoking the right energy. You do that, on the inside you kind of feel like, well, I just made the most single greatest spiritual decision of this day, and now I can just enjoy whatever the day will bring because I just made the right choice, and now it is now the will of the divine, and I can just sit back and see how much of my higher qualities, how much better my decisions become, and how much greater versions of characters I manifest because of the decision I made. To simply be a vessel for the will of my highest consciousness. And whoever comes my way will get closer to the realization that they are the highest will of their consciousness, because that's the gift I give them. And all the other people in the world who don't know their consciousness and the divine aren't going to pull me into stress, adversity, or pain, because I have invoked the light of divinity, and now instead of experiencing what's unresolved in the world, I'm going to experience the light that the world has not realized itself to be. Literally, before you go into a grocery store, department store, anything, I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to make this experience incredible. Amen. That's it. Something that simple. And then you go into the grocery store and watch what happens. Feel the power in that? Even so, again, and I'm telling you this as in my journey, self-realization happened many years ago. It's happened on so many levels to the point where now self-realization is an ongoing, uninterrupted experience in every breath. At a certain point, there's just nothing but self-realization. And even when the one within who you thought you were disappears, and you get past that fascinating stage where there's no one here, you get past all that, right? There's that stage where there's no one here and you got to tell everyone, hey, have you looked within and seen there's no one here? Do you know who's saying this? No one's saying this. Have you noticed the nothing that you are? I mean, it's not a nothing because it's something, but it's a, you ever, and you have to, and you go through like all these crazy reference points, and to people that aren't understanding the stage you're at, you sound like a lunatic. Well, it's not like nothing, but more like the no thing that is something that is one, but it's one, and you know what I mean? A bunch of spiritual crazy people. And the person you're talking to says, sir, I just asked if I could take your order. If you could just tell me, if you could just point to the item on the menu that the no thing that you are is going to eat, I can go to my other tables. But there's no one here. Are you going to eat? Or can I get this table to other people? Even when all of the internal character you think you are has fully dissolved, because I've experienced that so many times. Had an experience many years ago, looking into a full-length mirror, saw my body dissolve into particles of light, and I was looking at myself, and then a second later, I totally disappeared, and there's nothing there. But guess what? There are infinite layers of realization way beyond that. That's not where you stop. That's like the beginning. It's like welcome to life. And even when you are no longer a reference point, you are still the will of divinity that calls on the will of divinity to work through you. That's how you know you're anchoring the most humble and forthright version of your higher self. Because this is an ensemble performance. This is not a one-man show. In order for all of us to do the things that allow us to shine at the highest level, it's going to take a team. My life wouldn't be the way it was if it wasn't for my team. And every single day, the people on my team, I thank from the depths of my soul, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you. Thank you. I've always been the no thing, but with you, I'm someone. Thank you. Everything you will do that's worth anything is an ensemble performance. And let me just give you a brief outline of how this world's going to be transformed. The first stage of divine alchemy is all these individual beings, such as yourself, go through your own individual awakening process. Once you have been integrated to a certain point, then you as an awakened being start attracting other awakening beings, and that's when we start working together in the ensemble unity consciousness collaborative effort. What we have on this planet right now are people who intuitively know we're all going to work together, but they're trying to unite and do these collaborative efforts, but they haven't completed their individual journey to a degree yet. So there are spiritual communities where people are trying to do the right thing, but the individuals are not internally integrated enough. And so then those communities have to be the places where all the unresolved stuff is manifested and the best of intentions fall apart. First, we take our own vision quest. We fully awaken, we become fully realized masters. Then the master attracts other masters, we work together. And when we're all aligned with the right internal energy, the littlest things we do are going to bring about great change for this world. You ever notice people getting together going, we have to stop this problem, and they're not internally aligned? And what's the end result? We would have done this amazing thing, but there was all this red tape. Do you know what red tape is? Red tape is what you manifest when you get the right people together who haven't completed their inner spiritual journey to align with the right frequency. That becomes the external manifestation we're trying to create. First, we internally align, we individually awaken, then we attract one another, and we work together for the well-being of this planet. It goes from the inside out. And so we start this, and we raise the vibration for the world by learning to make the most important spiritual decision. Because anything other than what I'm saying in this transmission is going to be some form of righteousness or some form of spiritual fast talk of why I'm so realized I shouldn't have to take 5 seconds out of my day and speak the most gorgeous words in existence. Someone goes, I gotta think about that. No, why? Why do you have to think about that? Don't think about that. Don't think about it at all. You've been thinking about a lot of things over the years. No good. No good. You want to make it fascinating? Instead of thinking about it, I call on the universe to work through me and think about this on my behalf. There you go. There you go. I'm not saying stop thinking. I'm saying call on the universe to think for you. Because we've all been thinking about a lot of stuff for years and contemplating. And you know what we have? We have nothing. We have more questions. You know what the answer to every question is? Call on the universe to work it out for you. That's the answer. Or is your ego seduced by, I know the answer, really? And then you think you know the answer, then another question pops up. I know the answer to that one, really? I call on the universe to answer this question for me and to bring me the answer at the moment I meant to know it. Thank you. I don't know what to do with my life. Well, I call on the universe to work through me and to bring me life direction for me. And in the meantime, I'm just going to move forward and let it all happen. That's how progress occurs, from the inside out. You calling on the universe is the first step, and the response of divinity is waking up within you. But you got to call on the universe every single day as a way of saying, I'm willing to follow your will. And someone goes, but the will of the universe is my will. Not when you say it like that. When you say, I call upon the universe to work through me and to fulfill my highest will for the benefit of all, that's when you are surrendering to the will of divinity. And when you surrender to the will of divinity, that divine will then becomes your own, but not before you invoke. It's so powerful and so simple. I accept I can't find a parking space, so I call upon the light of divinity to work through me. Bring me a parking space on my behalf. Thank you. And then if a parking space still doesn't pop up, it must have been my highest will to look and be frustrated. Oh, look who's the next in line to be loved, the frustrated one. I'm going to love the frustrated one. Oh, but I don't want to love the frustrated one. I accept I don't know how to love the frustrated one, so I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to love the frustrated one on my behalf. Amen. Do you see how this works? Every single time. If you consider any question you have, if you are mulling over any decision in your life, you are only considering it with no definitive direction for as long as it takes you to remember to just call on the universe. If you just try this, even the simple one, you can try this together. I allow the light of the universe to work through me, to bring to life my most fulfilling reality for the well-being of all. That I am now. And so it is. Okay, that's what you would say in the morning. Then at the end of the day, you would say, I'm so thankful and grateful. The universe has worked through me. Bringing to life my most fulfilling reality. Whether I see it, or whether it matches the desires of ego. For the well-being of all. That I am now. That's why I call it the most important spiritual decision, because it's all you have to do at least once in the morning, once in the evening. And throughout the day, whenever you notice stress, that just means, whoop, stop, realign. No matter what you're doing. Even if you're just sitting and you're just feeling stressed. I accept I don't know how to sit here peacefully, so I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to sit peacefully on my behalf. That I am now. May all beings in existence be transformed by my peaceful sitting. Powerful. Powerful. It's so powerful. And again, all the teachings of the past played their part and got you to this part. But from this moment forward, we got to take a way different approach. Even with the I love yous, people go, I try to love myself and it's just I'm not feeling or whatever. You got to call on the universe to work through and do that for you too. Right? We don't know how to love ourselves without it being like some scheme to get something out of it. Like, I love you. Do I feel better? Like you're looking at your bank account. I love you. F5. Same? I love you. People any different? I love you. And instead, because again, we want all of the spiritual practices we do, whether it's I'm sorry, like an empathetic I'm sorry, thank you for helping me, what can I do to serve you, I love you, everything we do, we must first align with the will of the universe. So perhaps an addendum to the whatever arises, love that teaching is, by the way, before you do that, try this out loud. I call on the light of the universe, to work through me, to love myself unconditionally, on my behalf, for the well-being of all, that I am now. Then you do the I love yous, and it's going to be a different story. Because a lot of people that I work with go, I tried the I love yous, but I'm not sure, because what's happening is the ego is trying to do it. The ego is trying to be in charge of it. The one you're here to love is trying to be in charge of loving. The ego is not something we're trying to destroy, it's something we're integrating. And the one that's here to be integrated by receiving your love fails to receive your love because it's trying to be in charge of loving. Oh, I can do that. I like being in charge. Always call on the light of the universe for anything. And you are at that moment becoming a divine alchemist, saying, first I align with the right energy on the inside, and then from that moment forward, everything on the outside will be aligned with the right internal alignment, and whatever will be could only be the highest possibility, and it's a natural state of acceptance and peace, not you trying to hold yourself in some state or another. You're not trying to accept things. You're not trying to forgive. Acceptance and forgiveness is what happens when you're aligned. And think of how obvious it is now. Oh my God, I'm trying to forgive. How many people get stressed out by that? And stress is a sign that we're aligned with ego and not divinity. Even if you don't invoke the universe, by default, you're aligned with ego. And even if it's just in the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be every single task. Like, oh my God, if I'm not invoking with every task, I'm going to be an ego. I don't want you to take that out of this. It's just, at the very least, when you start your day, call on the light of the universe to work through you. There's always that overeducated person. I shouldn't have to do that. Well, you do. Well, you do. Well, I don't like that. Well, that's okay. Because life kind of sucks until you do. Until you surrender and say, universe, work through me. Let's do it together. Let's align. Let's create a team. Let's partner up. Until then, we have that insistence of ego. I can do it myself. And you know what the divine says? I. Not all right. It's more of the casual all right. We'll see. And life gets gangster and difficult and painful. And then God goes, hey, you want to call on me right now? You want to call on me? No? Hi. Hey, you look like you're having a tough time over there. You look like you're having a lot of stress, a lot of problems, a lot of enemies. You want to call on me now? No? Hi. It's such a gangster journey. And the simplicity will astound you. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Someone says, Matt, that couldn't be all I have to do. No, that's all you have to do until I'm given the next transmission at the next soul gathering. Where the next thing will be the only thing you have to do. Someone might say, but Matt, you always say this is the only thing you have to do, and it always works. So there you go. Until the next one comes out, and then that will work. It's just a fun play, but it always works.
I get the emails.
Someone goes, well, I was doing the I love yous, and it didn't really work. Well, you didn't invoke the light of the universe. Well, I didn't know to do that. Well, you do now. So, there you go. Now we know the fine print. That's literally the fine print. Right? That's the fine print when you're up in heaven, like, oh my God, I'm going to incarnate and do all these things. The fine print says, by the way, if you invoke the light of the universe every day, everything's going to be awesome. If you don't, aight. Someone was asking me at the retreat about, like the mothership landing, and I said, Earth is a mothership. Earth is a ship. Earth is, we're not waiting for a ship to land. We're on the ship, right? If you invoke the light of divinity every day, you're living on the mothership. If you don't invoke the light of divinity, this planet is like the universe as big as Booze Cruise. Floating through the cosmos, people just acting crazy. I know. That was funny. Try these words out loud. I accept. I don't know how to navigate my spiritual journey. So I call on the light of the universe to inhabit this form, to work through me, to breathe each breath, to speak each word, to make each choice, to manifest the highest outcome in every moment, for the well-being of all, that I am now. You know what you're feeling right now? Because I can feel it in your bodies. You're feeling satisfaction and clarity. Not clarity because you came up with the right answer, but you called on the right energy. You are the divine, but you are the divine that must call on your divinity in order to become what you already are. Some might say, well, if I'm already the divine, why do I got to become it? Because that's our ridiculous journey. That's our magnificent fate. That's like a seed going, well, if I'm already rose, what do I got to be planted in the ground and grow? Because you do. Because if you hand your beloved a handful of seeds, they're not going to be as happy as if you handed them a handful of roses. Oh, happy anniversary. Hey, I got you some seeds. Yay! Oh, it's not a flower, but it's the potential of a flower. Wonderful. You hand someone the potential of a flower and you're in a relationship, you might have the potential of a lovely evening. I thought we were going to go on a date. Yeah, this is the potential of that. So just like a seed going on, the potential of a rose. I shouldn't have to go underground and blossom and grow into it. I should just be it. Well, that's not the exquisite joy of our ridiculous fate. Our ridiculous fate is to call upon what we are as truth. And what is it? They say, in the beginning there was the Word. Why is that important? Because it's the word you use to invoke your highest truth to bring what you already are to the forefront. If you don't speak it is so, it cannot become so. It's just the potential. And there's so many beautifully educated spiritual beings who just walk around as the potential of their divinity. They're not the living reality of their divinity. And you know what gets in the way of that? You know what gets in the way of recognizing to just call that forward? Yeah, they have too much understanding. Too much understanding will never give you the option of just call on the highest truth you are to work through you. Because that kind of mind will say, why would I call on divinity? Look at all the things I understand. And how's that working for you? You stressed? You blaming people for things? You blaming their chakras? Their chakras ganging up on your chakras? Right? You acting a little immature with a spiritual facade? You don't like what someone says, you know? Talk to the mudra, you know? Talk to the mudra, psychic shields up. Can't hear you. Probably talk to the mudra. Too much understanding will make you think, I know something about something. All that matters is, do you call on the light of divinity to work through you? I was teaching this to someone in a session. They said, do you call on the light of divinity? Yes. They said, but you've realized you're the light of divinity. Yes, that's right. But the light of divinity, in its natural movement, divinity always calls on divinity to fulfill the will of divinity. It's a collaborative effort. It's not a form of separation. The truth is simple. Its will is infinite. Its ability to help you is spectacular. You have to call upon it and invoke it into you. Remember what the word of God would be. There's nothing to figure out. Just call my name. Nothing stranger than a half-awakened divine being who's trying to be overly independent. No reason. You're already free. This is about interdependence. This is about all aspects of divinity work together. Together as one. Your spiritual journey is an individual vision quest where you realize yourself to be what you are, and that will happen progressively if you call upon the universe to work through you, or it will happen at a snail's pace if you try to do it yourself. And once you have become the fully integrated and aligned, fully realized expression of divinity, you will then attract towards you other divine beings, and together as one, we will carry out the will of light. Love will have the final word. The light will prevail. This planet will and is already in the process of being reborn and replenished, not just on a spiritual level, but down to the ecosystem and all levels that draw such concern in our minds. If we're concerned, and maybe we only live in such a concerning planet that looks like it's about to explode into doomsday, to motivate every soul to look within and to make the call, and to call upon the will of your divinity to work through you. The impending doomsday scenario of a dying planet is just an ultra-gangster invitation to make the call. You start making the call, the world starts to look like it's improving. In any moment of adversity, any moment of concern, who are you going to call? Not the Ghostbusters. Not the Ghostbusters. You just call on the light of your divinity. even in a relationship. I don't know how to be in this partnership, so I call on the light of my divinity to work through me and to fix this relationship for me. Now, at the same time, there are times in life when you're meant to be in relationships that are tumultuous because it might be time for us to reclaim our power and go our separate ways. So, again, as I always say in every transmission, nothing that I suggest to you is ever an excuse to stay in a toxic relationship. If you're in a relationship where you're being treated unfairly, mentally, verbally, or physically, or even sexually abused, what I'm saying can become an invitation for you to say, I don't know how to walk away from this relationship and respect myself at full capacity. So I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to guide me to safety and sovereignty on my behalf for the well-being of all that I am now. So if you are in a relationship where you don't know how to get on the same page, call on the universe to work through you to make the relationship the best it can be. If you're being abused, call on the universe to work through you to give you the strength and the courage to go where there is safety. The invitation of the universe is, why are you trying to accept what is? Call on me and I will do it for you. Why are you trying to forgive? Call on me and I will do it for you. Why are you trying to heal yourself? Call on me and I will do it for you. Why are you trying to figure something out? You call on me and I will do it for you. Why are you trying to love yourself? You call on me and I will do it for you. And doing it for you means doing it through you, which means it will look like you're still doing it, but it will come from a different energy and it will be a way different outcome. Call on me and I will do it for you.
And if you are the abuser?
Call on the light of the universe to work through you, to put to rest and unravel all abusive tendencies. I accept I don't know how to stop abusing myself and others, so I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to end the cycle of abuse on my behalf for the well-being of all. In fact, let's make this interesting. Try this together. I accept I don't know how to stop abusing myself, being abused, or abusing others. So I call on the light of the universe to work through me, to end all cycles of abuse on my behalf, to bring forth my highest qualities, and the highest qualities and partnerships in others, for the well-being of all, that I am now. And so it is. That's why I call this the most important spiritual decision, because it's where we start. When in doubt, always go back to that one point. Always. That's always the starting point. That's always step one. And I say that because we're in a brand new spiritual paradigm where things are different now. And in the new spiritual paradigm, this will always be step number one. No matter what issue you have. Even when you're receiving guidance. Did you invoke the universe first? No. No. Why not? I don't know. Thought I could do it. Well, you can't. You just can't. You can't and you won't. The funny voice. So funny. Why is this happening? Did you invoke the light of the universe? They don't have to say anything. Just look on their face. No. You should try that. It really works. Takes like 5 seconds. It's really easy. Isn't it funny how in a spiritual path, people are willing to believe that there is an advanced alien civilization sabotaging your life? More so than the idea that this is happening because I forgot to invoke the light of the universe. No, but really, I think there might be something, like there's this advanced race of beings, And their first step in taking over the planet is messing with my life. Right? Like they're looking down at their plan. Ooh, where do we start with this planet? What are we going to do? Ooh. Zoom into New Jersey or wherever, right? That one right there. That one right there. Let us stall their engines so they can't go to their Deva Premal concert. That will be our first step in global domination. If you really stop to think about half of the fearful things, it doesn't make any sense. There are these forces fighting against me. Really? 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 For realsies? Seriously? No. 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 You want to know the difference between religion and spirituality? Religion is, I'll say this, spirituality is pro-light. Religion is anti-sin. Religion is here's all the shit not to do. Spirituality is here's what the truth is, call upon that, and you don't have to worry about sin. Trying not to sin is what egos, a religious ego, tries to do. Am I being a good whatever? Am I not doing these things? Versus, hey, just call on me and I'll take care of business for you. No matter what your level of integrity or value system is, do you know what basically sin is? Sin is how any human being acts when they don't call on the light of divinity first. That's all it means. Hey, if you don't call on the highest self within you, you're going to do some silly shit, you know? You're going to hurt some people. You're going to hurt some people.
If you'd like to send an email regarding the religious and spiritual subject covered in tonight's talk, please email icallaponthelightofdivinity.anything.
Exactly.
At anything.
But that's the thing about religion, and that's why, religion is an ego's attempt to control the path of its spiritual destiny. Spirituality is the reality within every being that religion attempts to explain or describe. We don't need to be anti-sin or anti-darkness. We just need to be pro-light. And the only way to be pro-light is to calm the universe every single day. Say someone who drank and has gone 2 years and is totally sober, but at the drop of the dime, something can happen and they're going to have the craving. The craving is because they're trying to do it themselves. They haven't surrendered and say, God, do it for me. God, do it for me. You could be sober and still be thinking about drinking 24 hours a day, and it doesn't mean it's evolved your consciousness. You'll just be an ego with a healthier liver. Call on the light of divinity to work through you for everything. Again, try this one. This is nice. I don't know how to awaken. I don't know how to help humanity evolve. So I call on the light of the universe to work through me and to do it all on my behalf, even though it will seem I'm the one making all the decisions. For the well-being of all, that I am now. And from that statement, you are now aligned with the energy, the timeline where that highest possibility has already happened, and you are now just going to live your life seeing how that highest spiritual success, how that guaranteed divine destiny played out. Because you have, yes, woohoo! Woohoo is right. Super duper woohoo, you know? Woohoo all over the place. Yeah. And if you just try this in your life, try invoking the light of the universe Just simple words. I call on the light of the universe to work through me, to bring my most fulfilling reality to life for the well-being of all that I am now. At the end of the day, I'm so thankful and grateful the universe works through me to bring to life my most fulfilling reality for the well-being of all that I am now. Try it. I mean, I just give you suggestions on, hey, try this. With the transmission of, by the way, this is the single most important thing you can ever do in all of existence, so you should try it. You should try it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to. Just try it. Nothing I do is about you have to. Just, hey, why don't you give this a whirl? Or you can try to figure it out yourself. But that ain't working, is it? No. No. Oh, what a setup. Talk to the mudra. Psychic shields up. So funny. Oh, you guys. This is so fun when we get together. And now for a big woohoo, let's try this out loud together. So try this together. I accept that I don't know how to fully realize my divine purpose. And to support the evolution of humanity into the golden age of unity consciousness. And to stop imagining that I am somewhere other than heaven, simply remembering in a daydream the vivid journey and adventure that already occurred. So I call upon the light of the universe to work through me, to bring to life the highest divine destiny that is already here, that is already existing, that is already guaranteed for the well-being of every soul that I am now. And so it is. Victory is ours.